What's going on, everybody? Happy Saturday. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Justin, aka No Good Comics, and we got another episode of Comic Collector Origins. We are on episode 60 right now. It is flying by fast, and so is this year as we are getting close to Thanksgiving already. It's quite crazy. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I see we got some people here in the chat. And if you're taking the time to watch the replay, as always, I appreciate you as well. This week has been a crazy one for sure. A lot of different things going on, especially in the YouTube world for me and just the community world in general for our comic community. It's just been incredible. And, just crossing the 1K milestone was a blast. I had 3 shows on Tuesday. Those were all a complete blast as well. And then Thursday, my top 10 had premiered as well. So appreciate everybody who takes some time to either tune in or be part of any of those events that had just recently passed. Love this community so much. And so speaking of community, this show is, if you're not familiar, Comic Collector Origins is all about the community. It's where I bring on guests from the community and ask them about their origin story. We always talk about the origins of our comic book heroes and characters and first appearances. And I figure, why not talk to our community about those very things of themselves? So kind of flipping it around, getting an origin of why people got into comics to begin with, kind of where they stand with it right now. What is their first appearance at like a comic book shop or a Comic-Con, and fun things like that. So again, if you're new, definitely hope you can meet some really cool people as I have, and hopefully I can introduce y'all to continue to introduce y'all to some really awesome people, because I really have made just some tremendous friends throughout this process. And another one today being the guest that I have on today, I'm very excited for. And so before I get into the chat and everything, again, take a moment, smash the like button if you haven't already. And if you haven't subscribed, please take a moment to do so. I do appreciate that as well. So my guest for today is a very good friend of mine, someone I've gotten to know just over these past, probably over the past year or so, that we've really started to connect and discuss comics and, especially being able to go back out to our comic book shops and things of that nature. I know that she has been very active with the Comic-Con life, and especially, now that we're able to kind of go back to them. And so everything that she does on the platform of Instagram has just been a blast, and I can't wait to kind of get to know more about her and everything that she does. So of course I am talking about my good friend Sadé from WhatPaigeIsIt over on Instagram. I put the link in the description below. She also has a YouTube channel and a TikTok channel, so make sure you check those out as well. I saw Brandon here dropping them in the chat, so I appreciate you, Brandon, for doing so. But let me bring Sadé in here right now. Sadé, what is going on?
Hey guys, thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Absolutely. And technically not your first time on the show, since you were just joining me on Monday, which again, thank you for hanging out and being part of that. That was really special.
That was a fun time.
Totally. So yeah, I'm excited to have you on. Thank you so much for taking some time to be here, because I know it's these Saturdays and at middle of the day is not always easy for everybody. So I do appreciate your time there. And I know we were just talking backstage about hitting up the shop later. I hope you're able to go visit your LCS a little later on. So where are you based right now? You're in the city, or you're
I live in Brooklyn, New York.
You're in Brooklyn. Okay, got it. I know you're always taking the subway. You always show in your Instagram stories. If anybody has not seen the reels that Sadé posts, you always see like the taking the subway of some sort. You're always out in the city for work and stuff, and then you always get to hit up like Midtown Comics or a couple other comics in the area, or comic shops in the area, which is always nice. But I think it's definitely become kind of your signature move. And again, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, just go check her out on Instagram. It's a lot of fun. So
you'll know I really hate stairs, basically.
Yeah. We learned that. So good stuff there. I see we got 15 people hanging out with us. So let's say a quick hello to the chat, and then we will get into all of the questions here. Starting up at the top here, we got my man TM Nerdy, Station Travis, and actually TM is going to be my guest next Saturday. So looking forward to that as well. Appreciate you, TM. Oh, by the way, and I meant to clarify this before, I was supposed to have another show coming up in 2 hours on this channel with Victoria, Read Across the Stars, and Haley from Shy Girl Comics. Haley's not feeling well. We are going to reschedule that. So anybody that was expecting to jump onto the Saga stream at that point, we will reschedule for that. Sorry, random thing I just thought of. Let's get back to the chat here. We got my man Brandon, aka Comics Kings. Appreciate you, man. Feels like it might be a Jeff Lemire show today. I like it. There are the links. So again, Brandon, thank you for dropping those, spreading the love. Totally. We got Inja Binja's been hanging out here. She says 5 more minutes. She was in here early. Thank you, Inja, for the support and always hanging out with us. Let's see. We got my man, another Justin in the house, Nemesis Prime. What's going on, brother? Good to see you, man. Justin, I got to get you on the show at some point. I know we talked about collaborating, but I appreciate you, brother. Hey, we got Phil in the house. What's going on, Phil? He says, hooray for daytime programming. Yes, sir. Got to hang out with Phil down in Baltimore as well. It's always a good time with you, Phil. Thanks for stopping in. And speaking of Baltimore, also good to hang out with Caroline's Comics, who's in the chat right now. So good to see you, Caroline. I know you guys are about to cross your 1K as well. Like today, hopefully, if we can get that going. It's like 5 away. So good luck to you guys. We got my man Mercy Andres all the way from Sweden hanging out with us as well today. Thanks for joining us. He just got a big grill I saw over on Instagram. Congratulations, bro. We got my girl Candace in the house. What's up, Candace? Hello. Thanks for stopping in as well. We got the official Megs. Hello. Not familiar with the name. Thanks for stopping in. Let's see. We got the art chemist, my brother. What's going on? Good afternoon to you as well. We also got DJ Links in the house. What's going on, everybody? Good to see you, DJ Links. This man is a busy man over on the YouTubes and the Instagrams. Good to see you as always. We also got Ryan, aka Magic Lasso, which you got to meet. I know you guys were sharing the screen on Monday night, so good stuff there. Ryan, appreciate you as always. We also got BX Boxer in the house. Man, the hype man right there, the hype man. Good to see you, bro. And by the way, that's his channel. I had been mistaken. He has a YouTube channel that he runs. If you guys don't follow him, sub him up. Brandon, if you could throw his link in the description if you're here still. But BX, love you, man. Appreciate you swinging by here. We got Empire Comics in the house as well. Good to see you, bro. I know we're gonna maybe hopefully collaborate at some point here soon too. Always a pleasure to see you. Let's see, scrolling through. We got my man Nigel, aka Desired Comics, hanging out with us as always. Desired, pleasure, brother. Glad to be able to hang out with you again about a week ago. Always up in my neck of the woods once in a while. Let's see, Mighty Comics and Collectibles. That's a new name to me. I appreciate you, Mighty Comics, for hanging out with us. Hello. You got some chants there, Sadé.
Oh my God.
Sadé. I like it. Let's see, scrolling through. We got Mitch Sparrow also hanging out with us. What's going on, Mitch? Thanks for swinging by. John Stout. What's going on, Mr. Stout? Thanks for stopping by as well. I think we're getting everybody here. Hey, that's my mom, Debbie. Thanks for stopping by. Mom. We got Friday night at the video store. What's going on, brother? Good to see you as always. Thanks for stopping in as well. We got Luke's Comics also here saying Station Luke. Let's see. I think we got everybody. Nemesis says, hell yeah. Yeah, man. We'll link up soon for sure. And Coffee and a Comic just joined us as well. So thank you so much. We got 17 people hanging out in the chat. Make sure you smash that like button and make sure you are following Sadé. If you're not already, I put her information in the description below. But let's get into some of the questions here, Sadé. I'm going to start out with the way I start out always. And it's the big question I asked you to come on to be on here for is, where did this all start for you, this hobby, and kind of what that all looks like between the comics and the cosplay and everything else, just generally speaking, just your interest in this stuff. When did it start for you? How old were you? What was your surroundings like? Did you have a lot of friends or anything like that? Tell us a little bit about that.
So I'm kind of a newbie in a sense. So I always started maybe 5-6 years ago. My boyfriend, when we first started dating, we decided to go to New York Comic Con. I never heard of it, never been to it. Nice. I was like, all right, let's go. We went ham because he decided to go. He wanted to do like Star-Lord and Gamora. So I was like, okay, well, I can't show up slacking and splotchy paint. So I went hard. Oh, I wish you had that picture. I should have said
yeah.
We went as Star-Lord and Gamora and nailed it. And then a friend of mine was like, yeah, you're going to get stopped if your cosplay is really good. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. No, I thought it was like paparazzi because like every 5 minutes I kept getting stopped and I was like, what is this? But It was so much fun. And
that's
then awesome. That's when I realized like I love cosplay and I'm like, I want to do more of this. And then it wasn't until how I got into comics, it was still along the lines of going to that same show, 2015, by the way. And then I saw one artist, her Instagram handle is like Correlations, and she does watercolor painting. So that's when I was like, I want to relearn how to paint with watercolor and stuff like that. And when I was finding more artists, I ended up finding somebody do a fan art of Snot Girl. And I was like, what is this character? I need to know. And then I realized it was a comic book, and I didn't really read anything comic book related. Like, I loved like X-Men, Star Wars growing up.
Yeah.
And so I picked up Snot Girl, and then it just spiraled after that. So,
So cool.
But yeah, I was hooked, line, and sinkered into comics since then. And then I wanted to, I guess, like learn more about comics because I was enjoying the medium. And I was very intimidated going into shops because there's not a lot of girls that go in there usually. And you get stared at a lot. Like, what is she doing in here? I'm like, I don't know either. So, but it was cool. So I slowly like got the courage to keep going, and I would just pick first based off of what I liked. And here we are today.
That is awesome. And let me bring this back for a sec. So it's funny you mentioned Snot Girl, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, my sister Reese, who occasionally jumps in the chat here, she was just involved at the Baltimore Comic-Con. She got more or less into comics. I mean, we got into comics because my dad used to work for Marvel and DC, but prior to that, like really diving in and reading on our own terms, Snot Girl was one of the books I think that she got turned on to, a couple of years back too. So it's cool that to hear that is a series I've never read, and it's probably one from, especially what you're saying, that I probably should explore a little bit.
It's very funny.
Yeah. I've always heard good things. So it's really cool to hear that, you jumped into this, like you said, 2015, kind of on a whim, you and your boyfriend just, checking out a Comic-Con for the first, and that was your very first Comic-Con, right?
Very first.
Which is crazy because
every year now.
Yeah. And New York Comic-Con is a massive it's the second biggest one in the United States. And, it's like, the go-to for many. So that is definitely a big experience for you. I can imagine. And it's really cool to see that you did some cosplay for that one, and just like totally, didn't know what the expectations were. And like you said, like paparazzi, like people just stopping you along the way. I can only imagine. I have a couple pictures I'm going to bring up here too for a sec. Before I do, wanted to show that I see Jay Nunya stopped in here. He says, Sadé is beautiful and cool. Appreciate you, Jay. You talking about me? Or you talking about?
I mean, you're pretty pretty.
I'm pretty pretty. We got my man VP in the house. Station VP, thanks for stopping by. Candace said, "Oh my god, I love the Gamora cosplay.
I wish you had a photo.
Nailed it." Oh. Yeah, is it on your Instagram account?
Maybe I'll just put it in stores for you guys, but it's somewhere in there.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
But
yeah, do some digging. We got Louis in the house. Freaky Louis says, "Oh my god, I heart Sadé."
I love you too.
Love the love here. The Art Chemist says, Square Circle Comics, always looking out for everyone in the community. Talking about BX. I when I see Square Circle Comics, I always think of, or I always don't think of that. I think of BX. Good to see. He says, what page is it? Check out Tony May. He is a good watercolor artist as well. Oh, there you go. Yeah, if you like more some more watercolor stuff. Candace agrees. Snot Girl's an amazing series. Brian Lee O'Malley is the best. And Freaky Louis says, I picked up Snot Girl when I saw Sadé on Newbie's channel. Oh, that's right. You mentioned that.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed.
Very cool. And BX is the queen of this or that. Yeah.
I am. Thank you for giving me that title, sir.
There you go. Yeah. Anybody that doesn't know, check out Sadé on Wednesdays in the stories over on Instagram. It's good stuff there. Hey, we got my man John in the house. John's Comics with Kids. Good to see you, man. Let's see. What is John saying here? He says, that is what blows me away about Justin. He knows everyone's real and social media names. I suck at that until very recently. Sadé was just Paige to me.
Well, my full name is in the bio, so
true,
technically
yeah.
I never deceived anybody. Just nobody reads it.
Come on, John. All right, cool. So thank you all again for hanging out. I see Phil just jumped in here. Planet Clintar just jumped in as well. Appreciate you guys. Again, if you haven't been following Sadé, make sure you do so. Put all the information in the description below. So really cool to hear that, that's kind of what got you into the hobby. So before that, I have to ask, did you ever watch any of the movies, like the Marvel stuff, or even like the Batman stuff from like the 90s or any?
Everything.
Okay, so you've been a fan of like the films.
Yeah,
okay.
I've always been like a big nerd, and I love comics. I loved anything with everything of that. I just never thought to read the comics. I don't know what the disconnect was, but 2015 was the year it was like light bulb. So.
You're not alone there. And this is something that I've kind of complained about in the past, that I feel that, big names like Marvel and DC, I feel like they don't do a good enough job using the movies to promote the comics. Mm-hmm. Like they don't say it enough, or they should have like a segment that says like, hey people, just so you know, these are like based on, X, Y, and Z issues. Go check them out. I think that's a way to like really push people, because I mean, I'd love to get more people into the comics medium as well, and I love what the movies are doing, and we are getting some of that crossover, but I feel like there's a missed opportunity there, because who knows, you may have gotten into reading comics even years prior if they did a little bit more of that kind of stuff. So you're not alone there. I was watching the movies all the time. I was watching the 90s series, the X-Men, the Spider-Man, the Batman 90s cartoons, and I just never like really got into, reading the comics. I also, when I was younger, I personally hated reading when I was little. So that was always the thing for me. But either way, I'm glad that you found your way to where you are now. And like you said, now it's kind of all been downhill. You've been reading a ton. I see you're always at the shop every Wednesday. You read a lot of new stuff. Am I right there? Do you go?
And I do. And I have a big TBR list. So
Can you hold up? I know you had like a pile. Can you just hold the pile up as a pile real quick here?
I won't show and tell everything. Justin told me not to, so don't blame me, guys. This is some of my TBR. It's not everything, but like this is the Snot Girl one. So my love for Snot Girl is aggressive. I have shirts. I have these books. If they're single issues, I buy everything. Snot Girl. That's the one comic I buy everything. Takes my money. But then what I am reading now is actually a gift from a friend, is Batman White Knight. I posted this on my stories the other day on my lunch break, and people were like thinking I'm the coolest person ever because of this. So I will. You are,
and you got it signed too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So when I went to New York Comic Con, a buddy of mine was working the James Tynion booth, and he was trying to have me meet oh my God, Sean Murphy, but he wasn't there yet. So he's like, well, have you even read the book? And I said, no. He's like, well, then you're not meeting him until you read the book. So that was my gift at Comic-Con.
I love it.
But yeah. So
very cool. Very cool.
And then related to now, the last one I'll share is what is on my TBR because it's coming out is the Hawkeye. I actually thrifted these. So.
Oh, nice. Good deal. So hey, that's great to hear. Anytime you can find deals like that, and for a great series, I've heard that's a great series. I've not read it yet, but
I'm excited to read it. And I see people promoting it. And I even saw that the show poster, they based it off of this cover.
Okay. Oh, nice. Yeah.
So if you look at like what they did, they have the arrow in the background, so it kind of is similar to this. Which, if you look, you'll see.
Who's the writer again to that? Is it?
This is.
Matt Fraction. Okay, Fraction.
Aja. There's a lot.
Cool. Yeah, that's definitely, from what I've heard, some really good stuff there as well. Hey, we got my man Steve in the house. Hip Hops and me. Good morning. Good to see you, my friend. Good morning for him. He's over on the West Coast. Jay says DC and Marvel should have like a 15-second commercial for the comics before the movie starts. I agree. Just a little something, to come aboard and just again a gentle reminder. Hey, just so you know, these originated from these stories. I totally agree with you there, Jay. Let's see. Candace also says, yes, it's so true. I feel like with some of the Netflix and television adaptations like Riverdale and Scott Pilgrim. Yeah, that's a great point too. They definitely have been doing a lot of stuff too on those mediums as well. Louis says that Sadé interviewed everyone at New York Comic Con. You did get some great photos and interviews and video that I saw you slowly kind of posting throughout that time.
This past year, sorry if you hear rain, it just started downpouring. So if you hear flacking, okay. But yes, New York Comic Con was beyond amazing this year. It felt like a big reunion. I got to meet so many of my favorite writers.
Cool.
It was just I don't know how it was real for me this year. Like it's just a dream. So
well, and especially being off for like the year before and the pandemic and everything, like I can imagine everybody's just kind of itching to be back. And it was very similar to the Baltimore Comic Con too. It just felt good to be around everybody and see people. Yeah, I heard it was managed really well too. I heard it wasn't like too overwhelming, which is nice to heir.
I could have done a cartwheel in Artist Alley. That's how much room there was.
Oh wow,
great.
Next time, you got to do that next time. Empire said he just subbed you up and on IG and TikTok as well. Nice. Cool. Appreciate the support, Empire. And by the way, I wanted to bring up some of the photos here real quick. I have talking about your cosplay here. Here's one from your from New York City Comic Con. The first one here, the Pink Ranger that you had.
Ranger. I love it.
So, and you wore the helmet too, right? Did that fit
Yes.
comfortably? Yeah. Okay.
It was fine. I couldn't do the helmet and the mask, and then I heard they were being strict about that, but I just stayed in the back of the con, and then I was fine.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Nobody's
I
gonna.
figure, right. I figure you could get away with that if you
But
were.
yeah, everybody kept singing the theme song to me, and I was not mad about it.
Nice. So that was on one of the days, and then I think that you also were Punchline on one of the other days, right? This is also there.
Yes.
It's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
You are Punchline. Like that's one of the. I've told you that.
Her. If they cast the movie, I want to be here, please.
100%. I've told you that from the get. I know that this is not your first time either, because I know you did it once for a Wednesday for wasn't it an event or something at your shop at
Midtown did
had a thing.
a charity event for, I forgot the name of the organization, but it's for like leukemia, and they had a bunch of cosplayers come in and take photos in the shop, and
nice.
Midtown was donating up to I think $2,000. So every purchase of a book, they did donate $1. So
that's cool. Yeah, very cool.
I did that, and then the first time I did this was actually in I think it was during the middle of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to order everything before everything shut down. And then I was like doing that before the book even came out yet. So I was wanting to get up on the hype before everyone knew what was up. I was like, this is going to be great. We're going to do it early. And then
nice.
Like, I Googled Punchline and found you. I was like, thanks.
Yeah, no, you like I said, I mean, you were on top of it. Mitch here says she's definitely his Punchline. So fire. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that you've coined that now. You run with it. That is, to me, you are forever Punchline. I love it. The other one too that I was going to show here, Mara, this was awesome. This was so cool. Where did you go for this?
I went to Long Beach. So a friend of mine's a photographer, and this was actually like probably one of the first things I did with a photographer to do this. Usually I take my own photos, or I'll grab my boyfriend occasionally.
Sure.
But so yeah, I asked my friends if they wanted to do, we were talking for literally like a year and a half of doing like a cosplay photo shoot, and we wanted to do Punchline, but Mara came up randomly in my brain to try to do it. Because I saw one blogger like posting a photo of her like in her clothes, but like on the beach. And I was like, this gives me, I need to do like a Mara cosplay like photo shoot. And this day was funny because we were there for like, I think 6 hours just taking photos, because we were trying to get from like the daytime to the sunset. Like I have so many photos from this that it was amazing. And we got stared at a lot, but a lot of people thought it was cool. So, but it was fine.
I figure that kind of just comes with that though, right? Like you're going to get stares either way, and you just got to embrace that, I think, right? If you're as a cosplayer, I imagine, you know,
you just have to laugh at yourself and don't take it seriously, and don't be like, oh my God, they're staring. It's like, it's going to happen. So even like my photographer guys, I'm like, we do know we will be watched.
Yeah.
And it might be up like on Influencers in the Wild or something, for all I know. I have no idea, but it didn't, but it should have been.
It should have been. That is so cool. Yeah, really well done. You obviously, you go all out, as you even mentioned, ever since your first one, kind of going all out, which is really cool. So I assume that you have plans for more in the future, or you're gearing up to kind of plan some of this stuff out. I have to ask you, so when you talked about like Punchline, when you got the gear, I know that some cosplayers will, a majority of the stuff you can probably buy or find, you know, at certain shops or thrift stores or anything. And then there's certain things that I know some people have to actually make or build, which I also find really fascinating. And I don't know if some of the other characters you might have played or that you plan to play, but is that something that you do or plan to do eventually to actually create some of the stuff that you wear?
So I've done both. So when I did my girl version of Hellboy, I think that was for 2019 was the last time. Yep. And my boyfriend actually, he does like sculpting. So he sculpted the horns for it. And then I made the glove. I followed like some YouTube tutorial. I cried so much making that thing. I thought I wasn't going to be Hellboy, but it ended up working out. And I was so thrilled about it. So that was like, because I had to use like the EVA foam for that. And that was the first time working with it. I'm scared to go back in to do that again because I have so much left over.
I bet.
So, but yeah, building it, I've like done like I haven't like sewn an entire garment. I kind of want to just to say I did it.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's a lot easier and less of a headache to buy it if you can. But sometimes you have to make modifications to what you do buy for pre-made cosplays. So there's always adjusting. Like the Punchline, like I painted the X's and the O's and stuff like that. So
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So you did have to add some extra touch to some
Hmm.
of the stuff. Very cool. BX Boxer here says a cosplay of Angela from Spawn would be sick. That's a good idea for one. Angela there.
I'll have to look it up. I don't read Spawns that much. I feel like
I
somebody I know is going to yell at me that I haven't read Spawns.
no. I just started reading, and I actually don't know. I only know what Angela looks like because I bought her first appearance a while back, and it's an older book. But I'm new to Spawn. I just started reading it actually. But yeah, look her up because definitely a cool character and some really cool designs, as BX pointed out here. Jay says that your Hellboy was dope. Let's see. Mercy says, finally catching this live again, enjoying this late evening. Yeah, that's right. For him, it's like 8 o'clock over there. Hey, we got my man Raging Cajun Comics in the house. He says, hey, everybody, driving but listening. Drive safely, man. Yes, please be careful. JD, appreciate you, brother. JD has a great show on Sundays. If you guys don't have never checked that out, shout out to JD. Love everything you're doing there, man. So, all right, cool. So really, again, just interested to, hearing kind of some of the cosplay stuff, how you got into that. But I am glad, going back to like your origin, I am glad to hear, like you said, you've been geeking out for a long time in terms of the films, the cartoons, knowing all the heroes and things like that. That's always sounds like it's always kind of been your jam. So that's very cool. So we talked about a little bit about, the books and stuff. Do you have any book that you want to show that like has significance to you in any way, or means something special to you that you want to share, or anything that stands out in your collection?
I mean, we all know that Snot Girl's Snot Girl's the only one that like I would say is like my heart and soul one. I don't have it with me, but like the Lock and Key series I absolutely obsessed with, because I started with the show, which we all know that if you have read the books or seen the show, it's nothing really much like the series itself. The series is very gory.
Okay, I heard it's
different. Rated R, like M for mature, but the show's more like kid, new person seeing this friendly, and they are switching it a bit off the books anyway.
Okay,
but those I binge read and loved so much, and then also Farmhand is also a good series that I really enjoyed. I think it's coming back, and I think I also heard he's trying to create it as a show.
Oh, cool. Okay,
I am so here for. So Farmhand, another one of my favorites. And then Archie wise, I do like the Vampironica series.
Okay.
So it's like Veronica being a vampire, and there's Jughead as a werewolf, which is good. And then, but yeah, that's cool. Top of my head I can think of.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. And I know that you're, like I said before, like you're always picking up new stuff, a lot of new books always coming out. I'm always yelling at you to read books. So I know that's the thing.
Nightwing, I know.
Nightwing. Yeah. So yeah, very cool. I like that you're kind of experiencing a lot of different angles of this hobby, which is, I mean, there's so much to kind of take in. So really cool stuff there. Next thing I wanted to ask you was, how did you come about making the both the Instagram and YouTube channel that you now have, because that is like comic book focused, right? Like, was it always comic book focused, or was that like a personal page beforehand, or kind of what made you want to like get more into what we are now, the community, the comic book community?
So, I mean, even having my handle as What Page Is It, I just made it up in college. I thought it was funny. And then I was like, it's clever. Kind of witty. It should be something. Yeah. And then I did want to do blogging, but I never thought to do it in comics. I was kind of like thinking I was going to be like a vintage blogger, like fashion. And then I'm like, I'm too broke for this. I can't afford vintage everything. And then it was kind of like on a pause of like how I wanted to blog. And then when I found comics and wanted to share what I was learning about them, that's kind of how I use the platform, is to just share like, this is what I found, this is what I'm learning, this story is amazing, I would write about it. And then I wanted to be able to get more girls in the comics, because I wasn't seeing the girls in it, or even like when I wanted to blog about it, I couldn't find much of an example of what I wanted. And like the guys, cool, like the guys were there and it was great, but I wanted a more feminine touch to get into comics, because like it's kind of intimidating if you go into a shop as a woman. So but you get over it after a while. But yeah, so then just over time, just sharing it and trying to figure out what works, what are people are liking, and then it slowly developed into the community that I have now on my personal page, and then the people I get to meet like you through it, including Candace and many more that are out there in the chats. So
Yeah.
It just went from being like fashion to comics real quick.
Right.
So, and
Kind of
then
switch.
I've always loved videos too, like creating videos and film. And then I was very camera shy at first. So I was like, everyone would be like, oh my God, you're so like personable on camera. I'm like, I used to be like, hi, my name is, and then it was just,
right.
if I showed you my first video, you'd laugh. But yeah, so I just kept doing it, practicing. I try not to take it too seriously on, I mean, sometimes I do, and I have like a little bit of a mental breakdown and cry, but then it's like, fine.
That's awesome. I mean, I love the effort that you put in. You clearly put in a lot of effort to it. And yeah, I totally get the whole like, camera shy at first. Like, I think we all have that moment of, first getting into things and, over time, repetitive practice makes perfect, right? Yeah. You just go with the flow. Just like you were saying before, like people asking you for photos or watching you while you're doing cosplay stuff, like all things that you kind of just get used to. So I'm glad that you've taken this approach, that you're making effort to put it out there. Again, I see your channel continuing to grow nonstop and you're doing a lot of cool things. And you're doing the cosplay stuff. You're talking about comics. You're also doing interviews, which is awesome. I know that you recently had gotten a chance to talk to Tynan, which is so cool. I'm very jealous of that. That is so awesome.
That was awesome to do because he's definitely one of my favorites. Oh, something is killing the children. How did I forget this? That one. Yeah. Oh, yes. So I was like, I think that's the first comic that I've read his work from, because like I wasn't starting off like big into DC or Marvel. I was more geared towards indie comics.
Sure. Yeah.
That's where I'm
easier to jump into.
Yeah. Because like I felt with some Marvel and DC, I felt maybe I was gonna pop in on a weird time.
Like you're not gonna get an inside joke or something like that.
But
or
then like now you're reading Nightwing, which thank you. I'm realizing it's not that crazy to just jump in anywhere. So that's where I'm trying to pick up more Marvel DC comics. Like I will usually just get them as number ones, but now I'm not as scared to pick up an 87 or something.
Sure. Yeah, I feel like especially nowadays, like the writers for Marvel and DC, you got one thing to keep in mind. One of their goals is to continue to get new audiences in. So I think that they always want to make it so it's somewhat simplified, so they don't want to lose their readers. And especially if there are new readers who have never picked up a comic book before, those are, they're considering those people and saying, hey, what's going to be something that's going to hook a new reader? We don't want to confuse them with a bunch of history that they're not going to know about. So, like you're saying, like it's really not bad when you jump into certain Marvel and DC stuff, especially when they're rebooting stuff time and time again.
Yeah. So I do remember hearing like Todd McFarlane at an interview that he had, where he even said, like, even with Spawn, he's like, sure, there's 300 issues at the time that he said this, that you can still just like hop into it. Like you can start anywhere, you'll be fine. He's like, don't be intimidated. You don't need to go to issue 1 to get to where we are now. He's like, you can hop in and enjoy the story. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, and that's kind of that, and that's where I started. I just got into Spawn now, and it's like at 320 or something like that. And King Spawn issue number 1 just came out, so that series just started. So I started with that. I really like the first issue. I know it's on like issue 4 now, but I'm still going with it. And sure, there's like a couple little things I'm like who's this again, or what's the relationship? But for the most part, like I get it, and it's dark. It's like it's not what I was expecting, so I really like it. By the way, Phil did confirm earlier. He said yes, Farmhand was officially optioned, so very cool there. Definitely a book I'd like to check out at some point. Candace also earlier said Archie's horror series is very good. I love that there are so many different sides to Archie. Totally. Also, Jay was pointing out that Tynan's Justice League Dark and Justice League are both awesome. So those are things to consider as well for Tynan's work. Good to know. So yeah, very cool there. One other thing I like to talk about is with the community. It's like, you told your story of how you kind of developed, you made a channel, you made Instagram, all this stuff. Before this, like, did you know there was a comic book community? Like you saw Monday, like all the different people that had kind of come through and not just say hello, but like to really share experiences that we've had and inside jokes and all these different things. Like, obviously I know I've met a lot of different great people. I assume you have as well. What did you think of that? Like getting into this, like, did you know that there was a community? Because I had no idea before I got into it.
I had no idea. I honestly was going through like a black hole trying to figure it out. I would like go through the hashtags to search. That's kind of like how I was trying to find if like this genre of, I guess, blogging for me, how I started was like actual niche, and if it was like existing. And then I realized there were some girls that were doing it. And then my favorite is Nerdburger. I'm
Oh,
obsessed
nice.
with her.
Nice.
But hold on. It's another one. Oh my gosh.
Hey.
I'm blanking on the name because I'm shy. D Comic Queen.
Oh
Natalie.
yeah, no, yeah,
She's
Natalie's
great.
great. Yeah.
And then who else? Candace is a good one. She does a lot of Archie, which she's in the chat, which
Totally.
I
Yeah.
totally think. But yes, Nerdburger Kaz is her full name. I
Okay.
found her on YouTube, and she's like this fun, amazing, quirky girl. She lives in Australia. She has like fun colored hair and tatted up, and just the sweetest
Cool.
person ever. And just like seeing her be thrilled about comics, I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
Like, this should be great. So then, but yeah, and then I just started like DMing some of the girls. That's kind of like who I was trying to talk to more at first. It was less intimidating, and then I would see like Gem Mitt on YouTube, and then I saw Newbie Comics on YouTube, and then we ended up chatting, and then he had me on his show before too. So it's just like a progression of the community. Like I loved how nice everyone is. Nobody's like mean to you about it. They always want to share and like want you to learn like a new book to read or learn something else about this artist or writer. Like everybody just wants you to get to know it. And like I don't feel like I'm being quizzed by the community. Like sometimes if I'm out and about, like at the shop, some guy would be like, oh, well, do you know this? And you're in the comics. I'm like, I don't need to prove anything to you.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Please don't.
No, I feel like for the most part, at least this online community, I think of there's I mean, there's just been some great people that I've met who, as you mentioned, will just welcome you with open arms. And it doesn't matter how much you've read before or how much knowledge you know or don't know about characters or whatever. I'm still very new. You've been in the game longer than I have. I don't know if you know that.
No, really? Wait, how long did you start?
I started just a little over 3 years ago.
Oh, see, we're all new to this, but we all have the same love and passion. So it all feels like we've been here for forever.
Yeah.
We're all just like, hey.
Exactly. No, it's so true. And I mean, I'm still learning characters. I mean, DC is very new to me. I'm telling you, Nightwing that just came out, that came out earlier this year. Before that, I never read Nightwing. Didn't know anything about the character other than that he used to be Robin, basically. That's all I knew.
What I knew is everybody just liked his butt. So
that's and that. Other than that, I didn't know anything. So for me, like diving into this, that's what I liked about the series was that you didn't need to know too much. You were able to just get into it. And luckily with Tom Taylor's writing, the artwork from Redondo, like it's all fantastic. And it just made it so much more enjoyable. So things like that is why I'm always encouraging people to just check certain things out, even if you've never heard the character, even if you don't know anything about him, because it's a great story. And that's all, if that's what you're interested in, which you like to read stories and you enjoy these good stories, then that's what makes it worth it, and then on top of that, as I mentioned before, like to be able to talk to people about it, it's just the best experience. So I'm glad that you are, again, I'm glad that you jumped into this. I'm glad that you're part of this community. You've been very active. You continue to make friends along the way. And everybody that's in the chat here supporting, if you haven't talked to them, I highly recommend, and I'm talking to the chat. If you haven't reached out to Sadé, certainly do so. Cause if you're here to just talk comics, then she is someone to talk comics with. So
yes, I love it. Shoot me a DM. Also say your names, because I don't really know just by the handles who you are.
So true.
I need to know, guys. Or put your name in your bio.
By the way, we got my man Cole in the house. What's going on, Cole? Thanks for stopping in. We also got my man Anthony hanging out with us. Comics are great. Good to see you, brother. Station. We also got my man Michael in the house, Sove Collector. He says, hey, I thought there wasn't a show today, but clearly I was wrong. Yes, my friend, you were wrong. By the way, Michael, I saw that book that you had pointed out to me when I saw you at Baltimore Comic Con. I don't remember the name. It's an old book. It's a magazine size, and it's based on the Ghost Rider character, but before Ghost Rider was out. Anyways, random thought because I just saw you in the chat. So you could put it in the comments later. I know I'm blanking on the name, but yeah, it's cool. Let's see. Mercy here says, I've been collecting for a couple of years now, but like John's Comics with Kids mentioned, I am so bad with names, so I never remember the writers' names. Yeah, like writers' names, I definitely sometimes I just get them jumbled, but I'm starting to get better at that just because there's certain names that are like, oh, I must read everything of theirs. Like Tynan. Tynan's a perfect, like anything Tynan does from here on out, I'm like, okay, I'm going to give it a shot, because he has just not failed me yet. Same with Tom Taylor. Same with, I like Tom King as well. Loved a lot of the things he's done. So these names you start to hear again and again. That's where you're like, okay, anything they do, sign me up.
Yeah, even Scott Steiner's doing more original stories now. And
yes,
I know a lot of people, because I even brought a discussion on my Instagram, are not, like some people, like 50-50 with digital comics.
Yep.
Don't come at me if you don't like them.
It's a good question.
I already have plenty of people do that.
Yeah.
So, but I honestly suggest you guys check out Comixology Originals because Scott Snyder's bringing a bunch of original stories that he's been working on for like 3 or more years with some amazing artists, and it's just I think there's even like issue 2 for all 3 of his stories. 3 or 4.
Yeah, we have Demons issue 2 just came out. I know Clear issue 2 is about to come out,
which I have to get stuff ready for that.
I love Clear.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm so excited.
It's a great point and good call on Scott Snyder because he's been amazing. And I know you and I also have recently shared that signing up for his Substack and being part of his class and stuff like that. I haven't really shared that with a lot of people.
Oh yeah, we should talk about it.
But yeah, we definitely should because that's something that again, not a lot of people sign up for because his class, it's a class. It's not about it's not about reading comics, but it's a writing class. Yeah. So I know a lot of like my friends that I'm in the community with don't necessarily want to sign up for something like that, which I understand. Yeah. And I too, and I've told you this, like I'm not in it necessarily to become a writer per se. But yeah, we wanted to just have a different viewpoint of, oh, that's why a character did this, or this is how to build characterization, or plot twists, and learning all the phrases and terminology is really cool. Just a different insight to understanding comic books in general. So, and it's just it's another community. I know you and I have talked about this. Like, it's another group of people that have like slowly gotten to know each other. That he's bringing together. It's all because of Scott. So, and he's just a really great guy. I know you've met him before. Again, very jealous.
He's seriously so humble. It's insane. But yeah, cool. So the writing class, like I'm only taking it because I'm one that wants to understand like how a comic book is made. Yeah. Oh, I should have brought this up too. So when I was learning about comics and getting into them, I met an artist that wrote for the artist for Archie Comics, like the Riverdale series.
Cool.
I met him randomly at like a hotel that I was doing a staycation at. Nice. And then he was being interviewed at this, I forgot the name of it. It was like a comic book meetup, and they would meet once a month in the city at like random locations that they could get a room's rent. Cool. And it was a bunch of artists and writers that were there. And the person that set up this group, he would bring in different people within the community, in the industry, I should say, to be interviewed and kind of get an idea of like what was going on in the industry, their life that they experienced being a writer, being an editor, being an artist, and all this stuff. So it was my way of understanding how they were made, who's behind it. I want to know. I don't want to be like, oh my God, this book's great, put it down, call it a day. I want to understand like how it was made. Why did you do these colors? Why did you put the word bubbles this way? Why did you do the page layouts this way?
Right.
I'm very much like want to dissect it so that way when I'm reading it, I understand it more and I can appreciate it more.
Totally. No, I'm right on board with you there. It's definitely, again, the class is open to a lot of just getting a more of a grip on how things are written, the hints that might be dropped, and things like that, and the terminology, like I said before. So really cool to kind of get that insight. I saw Eric here in the chat. Azor's Tiger, good to see you, brother. Appreciate you stopping in as well. Let's see. I also saw. Cole pointed out. I forgot about this. This was just recently. Cole, I've been meaning to catch the replay. He just had Scott Snyder on the channel for a comic book burrito this past Wednesday. They interviewed him and talked a little bit about some stuff with his books and stuff like that. So really cool to check out there if you guys don't follow Comic Burritos. Good stuff. Okay. So says, yeah, you found a copy of Hell Rider. That's what it is. Hell Rider's the name. Yeah, I didn't buy it. Maybe I should have. I try not to buy the magazine size books because I don't have a box for them. So it's harder for me to kind of store those larger, magazine size books. But anyways, I thought he would appreciate that. All right. One more question for you, and then we're going to get into the rapid fire stuff. And this has been great. So again, Sadé, thank you so much for your time here. And if anybody's not following, make sure you do. I put Sadé's information in the description below. So with that, I wanted to ask, you, especially being someone, as you mentioned, newer to this hobby, and yet at the same time, you've really delved into things that you have gotten an understanding for, and some may look at you as the expert as well in certain areas. What advice would you give to someone who might be brand new to reading and collecting comics, especially as you mentioned, it's an intimidating hobby to get into. I know for me, like you said, like getting into this, there's a lot of people who might you just feel like you have to know certain things, and you don't at the end of the day. You just have to know what you want to know about whatever characters that you want to know about, and you do your own research, and you just embrace whatever it is as it comes to you. But I think that there are a lot of new people that come in and they're like, whoa, even if like walking into a comic shop, like there's just so many books on the shelf and so many amazing artists and so many amazing writers. And you're just like, where do I start? Do I go to the old stuff? Do I go to the new stuff? Do I buy hardcovers? Do I buy trades? Do I buy single issues? All these different questions that come to mind. So if you had to give one like piece of advice of some sort that comes to mind for someone new, what would that piece of advice be?
I would say when you're walking into a shop, I would say be tunnel visioned, as in don't focus on what everybody else like. I mean, you can ask the people there like what they recommend, but sometimes I feel like it could be 50-50 if it works out, like if you find a book you'll love. But what I did is I looked at the covers and I decided if I liked the cover to buy it, which it's kind of like judge a book by its cover in a sense. But it worked out because I ended up finding Something's Killing the Children because of doing that. And I bought that one that everybody loves, like the red cover with her on the thing, and then the little, apparently it's a rare one, one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would just say just kind of trust your gut on the cover. If you have a certain genre you like, start with that. You could start with, I feel like it's kind of everywhere. It just depends on you, I guess. Like you could start with the genres, see if you like that type of story, how it's portrayed in the comics. And then, or if you have like a favorite artist or writer, even asking friends if they have anything they recommend. Even too, you can reach out, I would say, to anybody in the community and see what they would recommend as well. So that would be it. So, but also too, sidebar, I would recommend Snot Girl, and then Lock and Key is good. Farmhand, I heard Chew was good. I have them. I haven't read them.
Yeah, I heard it was good too.
Thrift find, but just definitely don't feel intimidated if you're starting. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry if someone's going to judge you for reading comics. Like I know sometimes some people feel a little bit insecure of that, but it's a great community once you even get into it, and everyone's more than willing to chat and give you like tips of what you should read and whatnot. So
totally,
and it's like a judgment-free zone.
I think you're spot on. Everything that you're saying there, it definitely, I mean, as you mentioned too, kind of exploring things on your own, see what you gravitate towards. If something pulls your attention, especially as you mentioned, certain covers that stand out to you that you're like, ooh, like I'm going to give this a shot. And luckily you did for Something's Killing the Children, came across that, that worked out. So I think a combination of that mixed with, like you said, hearing recommendations, not saying that you have to jump the gun to whatever someone tells you to, but at least to hear it out. And if you start hearing multiple people suggest a certain book or two, then that should give you the hint that, okay, hey, might be a popular thing. Maybe I'll give it a try, or buy the trade or something like that. It's you could always just check out the first trade and go about it that way. If you don't like it, you don't buy the next one. If you do, you can go all in and get the hardcover or whatever, And
then your collection will soon look like all of ours.
yeah, exactly. By the way, big shout out to my man, George here. Got to highlight this for threw in a super chat. So super sticker, George, appreciate you, man, for the $10. You did not need to do that. Thank you so much. George here, no one really knows. George randomly shows up in my chats. I've known George since I was in second grade. He was like my first friend when I moved to this other school. And so George has been in my life for a very long time. So I appreciate you, brother. I'm trying to get him into comics. He's into like the heroes and geek stuff. He's a big nerd. He loves a lot of the online video gaming and stuff like that. But he doesn't really mess with comics too much, at least not yet. I'm twisting his arm. I'm twisting his arm.
I'm trying to get my sister too, and she's like 15 or almost 15, and she thinks she's too cool. But I'm like, you want to.
Yeah.
Like, don't just think I'm the weirdo.
Well, the other thing is he watches a lot of anime, and I know he's like kind of checked out some manga. So manga is very similar to comics in the in the sense of that there's pictures and words.
I feel like I need to try manga. I have not. I watched like Sailor Moon and like Dragon Ball Z, and then I got asked if I was going to go to Anime Con, and I was like, probably not. I don't know.
That's a rabbit hole. I will say there's some great stuff. I think you'd probably fall in love with a lot of. I mean, there's from
I'm
what I've
sure.
talked about. I just read my first one not too long ago with Victoria from Read Across the Stars. We did a
Yeah.
show on it.
Oh, she recommended some stuff for me. There's one
Yeah,
that she told me it's in my cart that I should.
Yeah, talk with her about it. She knows a lot of really good reads and good recommendations. We just read Full Metal Alchemist not too long ago, so that was a fun little kicker. So, but again, George, shout out to you, man. Thank you again for the super chat. I really appreciate that, brother. I also saw Darth Timo hanging out with this Ty Station Tyler. Good to see him, man. Cole says both Chew and Chew were both great. That's right. There's technically two different Chews.
The Chew with the U is supposed to be his daughter, I heard, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Steve also saying Chew is good. Can't wait to pick it back up. Yeah, so that's cool. So Jay says for a female newbie, he recommends Saga and Snot Girl. Yeah, so Saga's another great one. Yeah. Have you read Saga?
Yeah, I have the big guy. So nice. I think it was the 2019 Comic-Con. That's when I bought the big compendium, and then Brian K. Vaughan signed it, and I got to meet him too that way.
Oh, nice. So, very nice.
That was cool. I had that halfway through that thing.
Good recommendation there. Oh, by the way, I totally forgot for the super chat. I always like to play like a fun video or something. So George, I meant to play something for you. So I'll play this this little GIF here.
And besides, I had no idea. How am I supposed to know that there's a 1 in 25 incentive variant that's out, and then on top of that, a 1 in 50 incentive variant that came out today? I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was just cover A and cover B, you know, just like any other day.
These are those comic collecting problems right there. Me talking to my wallet.
More everywhere else. I'm so upset.
It's on YouTube. I have them. I have a whole that's a whole series. I'll have to send you it. There's a whole like a 4-minute video on.
Yeah, but you know how many reels you could do with that? Like that's great.
Oh, true. I do have some.
Like pick 3 reels are like my favorites. I'm like, here's my third one. It's like the 20th one, but here's another third one.
I gotta throw some more up. I always got more ideas coming, but I'm having fun with the reels. Thank you for that.
Skits. You're inspiring me.
Yes, yeah. Oh yeah. We gotta do a skit sometime. We'll figure something out. And George also says, love you, bro. Keep up the good work. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Steve said manga is so good. I know Steve's another big anime guy. Mitch Sparrow says Death Note is a good manga, so good to know there.
Half of the movie.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anthony is also saying manga and anime is a huge hole to get into. Yeah, definitely a lot to buy. George says yes, actually looking to get the whole set. Okay, talking about one of the manga series. Hey, we got Swaggle Hoss in the house. What's going on, Swag? It says better late than never. What's going on? I was just sharing the screen with him earlier this week over on Morbius's channel. Had a great time, great discussion over there. So good to see you, Swag. Thanks for swinging by as well. Let's see, just catching up a little bit of the chat here. Candace also mentions manga is a whole other world. I've been reading comics longer than manga, but there's a lot of manga out there. My favorite is Witch Hat Atelier.
All right, you're gonna have to message me that, Candace.
Yeah, there you go. And Empire also says Justin got to get on TikTok with those because I created one recently. I just started to like reshare some of the ones that I put out there. But
I will be faster in my Nightwing if you do this.
That's not fair.
Yes, it is. Then we can do our review if you want. I know.
True. Very cool. He says Damu by Automo is classic manga. Good to know. So great recommendations there. Definitely, like I said, a rabbit hole to go down for sure. But so all right, we are almost at the hour mark, but I do want to hit you with some rapid fire questions. This is one of my favorite part of the segments of the show. And again, anybody who's watching right now, thank you so much. Make sure you smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And Sadé, make sure you are following her. I put her information in the description. Not following her, but like subscribe it and not in a following creepy way, but you join the cult. Let's see. So we're just gonna dive right into this. This rapid, answered? It's a whole mix of things. My girlfriend always makes fun of me she calls me out because I say it's a rapid fire question, but a lot of this segment ends up being not rapid at all. So I always say rapid fire because sometimes I like to hear you elaborate on certain things, but some stuff, we look for certain answers, quick answers on some things. So some of this will be a this and that, and some of this will just be like straight questions. So I'm going to start it off with my first question, which is always, if you could only choose one comic book character of all times, who is your favorite comic book character?
Can I pick one?
Only one. Only one. If you could only pick one. Or at least who comes to mind right away.
What's the line? Like if I like what's the scenario?
There's no,
I want to say Snockrel, but I also want to say punchline. So it depends on like if I have to live as this person as well.
No. You're just picking your favorite character of all time.
Right,
You don't not. You could do, okay. It's not perfect, and that's very new. I mean, I like that because we get a lot of different like superheroes and stuff like that, like a lot of the stuff from the older comics. So it is refreshing to hear kind of a change up. So is Snockrel, is that her name, or is like does she have a name?
Her name is
or
Lottie. And they call her Snockrel because she has really bad allergies, and if she doesn't take her allergy med, she gets snot everywhere.
Okay, I was wondering. It's great. And yes, Brandon, thank you for dropping the links.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. So very cool. So we'll go with that. Next question is, if you could have one superpower, what would that superpower be?
Oh, I would say maybe teleporting or like cloning myself because I need more of me and I need to get somewhere faster because I have way too much to do.
The cloning thing is a really great idea, especially like you said. Yeah, if you have something to, I'm always making that joke at work. I'm like, I need to duplicate myself somehow to just get all this work.
But
done.
I don't think my boyfriend can handle more than one of me, so I think he's probably chill with the teleport one.
Yeah. I mean, the teleport one's really cool too because it's like,
bing.
Yeah, wherever you go, save yourself on gas and travel instant. You'd be like a Nightcrawler,
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yeah, just like Banff. You just Banff everywhere. So cool stuff there. If you, or this will just be something that comes to mind. Who's your favorite artist right now? Comic book artist.
Ooh.
Or of all time, if you have
Jen
one.
Bartel's a top favorite.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Jen is great.
Jen Bartel.
Absolutely.
Her covers get me, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And what about what is your favorite comic book based film of all time? Any type of, whether it's a superhero movie or even not superhero related, but it could be like a Netflix series or anything like that as well. New or old? It could be.
I mean, new. Old. I would say The Lock and Key because I just saw season 2.
Okay.
That was good. I enjoyed that a lot. And then, nice. I mean, I also really liked the Black Widow movie.
Oh, okay, nice.
I liked it because I got more of a backstory from her, which I wanted one.
Sure.
So I think Yelena's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, she's great.
So, yeah, I like those two.
I love when she's making fun of her for the way she lands.
Oh, yeah,
like, do this thing.
I mean, there were some things that are a little weak in the movie. I will not lie, but those are some of my favorite things. But
yeah, I look forward to seeing more of that character because I know she's going to come back at some point too. So
I think she's going to be in the new Hawkeye. I think maybe.
Ooh, okay.
Remember?
Yeah, I can see that.
No, I'm not.
Yeah. No spoilers.
Newbie. And
I was going to say. What's going on, Newbie Comics in the house? Good to see a Newbie. He and I have been trying to link up here too. I know at some point we'll get something going, but
you guys should
always
Can I moderate you guys.
Totally, that'd be so cool. We should definitely do that.
Dude, that interviewed me. I get to interview you.
Right. Newbie is the man. He anytime that that I jump into his he's doing live YouTube streams all the time. He has a bunch of different shows. If you guys don't know Newbie, check him out. And he gives me a big shout out every time, brother. I really appreciate that. That you do that, man. It's much love. Love everything that you're doing. The content that you're putting out there. So, and I appreciate you being here, swinging by the channel. So, shout out to Newbie Comics. Also, Brandon says Banff. Yep, exactly. Let's see, scrolling through. So, all right. So, next question here. Let's see. Oh, who's your favorite, as of the ones that you've done so far, who is your favorite cosplay character that you've done?
I think for how I feel when I'm the character is Punchline. That would be a favorite.
Okay. Yep.
That would be.
I mean, that's my favorite of what you've done.
Yeah, that one I think is my top favorite because I just feel like Harley Quinn is a lot of fun. I've done that one. Like you get to be like a cuckoo psycho chick, but with Punchline, you just get to be like this sexy badass. Like you kind of don't need a man, but you're obsessed with the Joker chick. So
right.
It's kind of just a whole other vibe that I'm obsessed with. So
totally. And I have to ask, have you read like all of Punchline stuff? Like I know she's a fairly new character, like a year or 2 years in or whatever, but like, have you been reading Tynan's stuff there, the Batman stuff or anything like that?
I read like her one shot that she had and then a few other things, but like once like Miracle Molly popped in, I think I kind of like trailed off,
Okay.
like not trailed off,
Sure.
but like fell behind type of
Yeah.
like wasn't picking them up. Like I have them, I just haven't read them.
Right. I'm with you. I'm a little behind on that as well. Some of the stuff I just got into the Fear State stuff, so I'm a little more caught up, but it's definitely still a lot.
Yeah, I
for
think
sure.
I have like all my Punchline stuff is signed by him, like everything
Nice.
from him I got signed. So when I interviewed him, so I was like, "Here's my stack."
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. All right, let's see. We're gonna do a couple of this or that. We'll go into that, and since you're a pro, you're a pro at this. So and I will warn you, not all of it is going to be comic book related. So just be ready for that. So I will ask you here. We'll start with this one: Harley or Punchline?
Oh, God darn it! I don't know. I don't like this game.
See? Now you do this to us every Wednesday. Now you know how it feels.
But it's a cover. Oh, okay. Okay, let's go Harley.
All right. Oh, all right. There you go. Oh, I was wondering. That's close for you. I know it is. Harley's been around longer though. She's got a lot more story.
Yeah.
But Punchline's great too. I love her too. Let's see. Boom Studios or Aftershock Comics?
I have to go Boom because I don't read much Aftershock. Not that I can think of.
Okay. All right.
But yeah.
What about let's see. Here's a great one. This is tough. I apologize in advance.
The first one?
Yeah. Pizza or cake?
Oh, pizza.
Oh, yes. Okay, cool.
Everyone's gonna scream. Are you ready for this?
I'm with you with pizza. Some people had a harder time answering that question, so that's why I think pizza all the way. You can have it at breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Yeah. And I guess technically you can have cake.
Two ways I like my pizza, and one of them everyone's gonna scream. Ready?
Oh God!
I like it as so it has to be gluten free because I'm allergic.
Okay.
So then anyway, but I like it as a margarita pizza.
Okay, I like margarita.
Or get ready for this one, guy.
Oh God!
Hate me. No one's gonna follow me anymore.
Oh no.
Pineapple and black olives.
Whoa, pineapple and black olives. Okay. So black olives I like. I like pineapple by itself. I will say I have had the pineapple, what is it, like the pineapple chicken or whatever it is, the combo.
Like pineapple black olives or margarita pizza. There's no in between.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, you might lose some subscribers there, just so you know. Sade's gonna get banned from well, let's see. Empire says she's in New York. It's definitely going to be pizza. Good call there.
But now I'm kicked out. It's fine.
Yeah, there's some pineapple love there. Brandon's got to go. Good to see you, Brandon. Also want to say big shout out to Verno here. What's going on? The Cerebros hanging out with us. Always good to see you. And did I miss someone else? No, I think I'm good here. He says, Empire says, I'm going to have to revoke your New York card. Yeah, man. That's tough. That is tough. The pineapple, oh my God. Like I've had it before. Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? Pineapple and ham. I know that's like
I don't do that now.
That's a popular thing, but yours is very unique, even more so unique, for sure. I don't know if I can support you on that one, but definitely, black olives I'm all about. Any other pizza I'm all about. Pepperonis is usually my main thing I go to. But yeah, Steve says salty sweet. Yeah, I mean I do like salty sweet, so I guess I mean I would try it. I'm not saying I wouldn't try it, but I know it's frowned upon. You're not gonna try. Pineapple pizza is good on pizza. Steve, I have you here written out. It's on the internet now, so everyone knows where Steve stands with this question. Wow, Steve.
It, frame it.
Wow. Yeah, screen.
Agrees with me.
There's the proof. All right. Wow, that's a heavy one. All right, let's go. Let's keep going here. This is tough too. This might.
Well, that last one wasn't that tough.
This might destroy you. Tynan or Scott Snyder?
I don't like you. I can't do that. I can't. Scott follows me, so I can't do that. No, I can't do it. I'm removing myself from the chat. No.
Sade's mind, boom, just exploded.
I can't do it. I can't pick.
That's right.
My career's on the line.
All right, let's see then. I knew that was gonna be tough for you.
You just did that on purpose.
I have it written here. I swear I have it written here. What about when it comes to artwork? Jenny Frison or Jen Bartel? Both amazing artists.
Wait, I'm gonna Google Frison. Don't judge me.
Come on, you know some
I know, but I'm blanking on the spell the last name.
Frison. Just type in
FF?
Frison Coverings. Frison. One F, only one F.
Okay.
Empire says plead the fifth. There you go.
Oh yeah, I follow her too. Oh
Yeah.
so but that's like
Told you that. I mean, these are not easy.
okay,
Justin here.
so
Justin
this
says,
is how I'm gonna give you my answer.
"Oh,
You
okay,
ready?
yeah."
I'm gonna ruin this. That's how I'm gonna give you my answer.
Bartell. Yep. I mean, those are beautiful. So yeah. I mean, there's no, it's not to say you don't like the other. It's, we totally get it.
But
It's just, it's just who
I'm
you
never
had to
answering
choose.
the Tynan and Snyder one. Never.
You never answered that. Yeah. Justin here, Nemesis Prime says Snyder is the master and Tynan is the apprentice.
I don't know because Snyder's even admitted about how he's doing phenomenal for even teaching him. So
it's true.
He said that in the class, kind of.
He did. He kind of did. Yeah. Let's see. Do you guys have banana on pizza over there?
No, I ain't talking to you about that one.
I don't know about that one. No, I've never had banana.
My New York card back. I'm just saying.
Is that a thing in Sweden, Mercy? I'm curious. I've never heard of that.
Everything.
Yeah, very interesting.
You have over there? Is that what you put on when you order and get home?
So Steve's here says just flip a coin when it comes to Scott versus James.
Because I love them both and they're amazing people.
And Michael says Frison is the correct answer, but Bartell is also amazing. I mean, that's
like another. He likes to just make me suffer, guys.
That's
like
a fair
I can't really get. So I just kind of have to.
Yeah, let Chance decide.
Yeah,
let's see. Pepsi or Coke?
I don't drink soda.
Okay. Oh, that wipes it off.
All
right. What do you drink? What's your go-to non-alcoholic beverage?
Water and matcha latte. Okay. Ooh, I like a matcha latte with like a lavender or raspberry flavoring to it with oat milk. That's my go-to.
Whoa. Okay. That sounds fancy.
Or a pumpkin spice latte too.
No coffee? No regular coffee?
Oh yeah, no, my morning coffee, it's like it's not even a normal black coffee. It's like a chocolate glazed donut flavored K-cup with French vanilla creamer. That's how I start my day. Well, first I have a mint tea and then I have coffee. That's how I start my day. Now you know my routine, guys.
Yeah, there it is.
Now you have to follow me and subscribe. Thanks.
Last one here before I get into some of these other questions. Would you prefer a day at the beach or a day at a Comic-Con?
Comic-Con. Well, yeah, but like multiple times or
That's
like
close. No, just one time choice.
Comic-Con.
Okay.
Because I will go broke after Comic-Con, but it'll be fun, and I get to see everybody at Comic-Con. The beach is like, it could be raining or it could not. You didn't give me the weather that day.
True. Let's see. BX Boxer said, "How about Del Otto or Bartell? Are you familiar with Del Otto? Gabriel Del Otto? You've probably seen some of his work just on certain things, but that would be another good one. BX, I'm going to take that. I'll put that in my queue when I ask that question. That's a good one. Oh, Albert's in the chat. What's going on, Albert? I literally was just hanging out with this guy over at Zap Comics earlier this morning. He says Comic-Con at the beach. Oh, there you go.
That's how it should be.
That's how it should be. That would be amazing.
So bad, but
everybody would. The only thing with
sweat enough in there, but like add the beach to it and sand. No, maybe
true.
That's just good in theory.
The only danger with that is the heat of the it's not good for the books, the heat.
Yeah,
but if you kept it indoor, you could do it like right in front of a beach, like do it on the indoors at a hotel that's like connected to the beach. You could do something like that. That'd be cool.
I think that they do have like a Long Beach Comic-Con, so they have it like a hotel that's like maybe 20 minutes.
Ocean City, Maryland has one too. They have there's a Comic-Con and it's in Ocean City. So that's another good one. Forgot about that. Mercy says banana, chicken, and curry on pizza. Do
I get my New York card back, guys? That's so aggressive.
Justin here says Comic-Con and casino. That's the best, right, Justin? Yeah, dude. Comic-Con and casino. So I for those who don't know, I obviously love Comic-Cons and I love casinos. And if Sadé, next time you get a chance, you have got to go to Terrificon in Connecticut next summer. Put that on your list.
Yes, boss.
That is the one. Yes, that is the one I would say because it's a drivable distance. I mean, it's totally doable.
I don't have a car. I'm Brooklyn. Maybe
What?
maybe
Oh,
ask my boyfriend to drive. He has a car.
yeah, yeah. There you go.
Or
Or drive up with some of us. Like you can
Okay,
work something
I'll
out.
hitch a ride.
Carpool. Yeah, just
'Cause you're
carpool
in
up.
New Jersey, right?
I'm in Jersey. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, first we need to meet, and then we
Work it
can
out.
go in the car.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
I'll
Well,
decide if I go in a car with you. I'm just kidding.
okay. Yeah. Stand outside the car, assess the situation.
So
No, you would love it there. It's a great and Justin brought it up. I got to meet Nemesis Prime while we were in Connecticut, but that's a great show for multiple reasons. Because like Sadé, you and your boyfriend could go. You could stay at the casino. There's like, even if you're not into gambling or whether you are or not, like there's a ton of things to do. There's shows, there's restaurants, there's you can do slot machines, table games, all that other fun stuff. There's usually concerts and stuff that always goes on. And it's a Comic-Con too. Like there's a Comic-Con in the hall that they have. So you are literally, you don't even have to go outside. You're in the same building. And it's just a really cool, so during the day you're at Comic-Con, you're meeting all these different creators, writers, you're meeting the community, and it's in Connecticut. So it's people coming from from north. There's people that are driving up from like Baltimore and all that drove up for that. So it's a good show overall. And then on top of that, at night, the nightlife's awesome because we all went out, grabbed dinner, grabbed drinks. Like me and Roger from 3 Men in a Basement, we were out till 3 a.m. rolling dice. And we did that back-to-back nights. And we were still up at like 8 o'clock in the morning to go to the con. So it was crazy. Yeah. So put that on your list. Hopefully you can make that there. We'll figure that out.
I had a friend that asked me like the day before if I was going. I was like, what is that? He's like, guess you're not going.
I guess that's a no. Yeah. We got Mark hanging out with his Legion of Comics. Just had him on this show not too long ago. Good to see you, Mark, as always. And yes, Michael says he will be there too. I got to hang out with Michael at that Comic-Con. So that was cool.
I have to go now because everyone's going.
It's on the list. It is on your list. All right, let's keep this going here. I got a couple other questions and then we'll wrap this up. And again, thank you all who are hanging out. We got 14 people here still. And we appreciate each of you. Make sure you're following Sadé if you're not already. So Sadé, since we talked about movies, what is your favorite movie, period? Like, do you have a go-to movie that just comes to mind? You're just like, yep, I could watch that all day, every day. Or something you could quote forever or just have on in the background forever.
Well, the only one I can quote for forever is because my little sister kept watching the Shrek every day, like 3 times a day when she was a baby. Yeah, the first one. That's what I can quote because I had to watch it so many times when she was an infant. But favorite movie is probably the Star Wars series.
Ogres
probably the old ones.
Yeah, you can't go wrong there. Star Wars definitely top tier.
Because those made me be nerdy.
I see Empire says Endgame. That's a great one. Yeah, for sure. BX says, what would a safe page variant look like? Sadé page. A Sadé page.
What would a Sadé page variant look like? Like if I was a comic book?
Yeah, if you were a comic book.
Dude, I would love to be a comic book.
That's cool. That's a cool concept to even think about.
I'm not gonna lie, I did think about that. I don't know. See, I even thought about like if I was my own superhero because I had somebody be like, "Hey, you want to be your own superhero for this?" Like it didn't work out, but like I was like, "What would I do?"
Yeah,
like I don't even know. I feel like something with red. I feel like red needs to be there. Like the primary colors, probably like red, blue, and yellow. But I don't know what my cover would be, guys. I'll think about it.
You could do like the Black Widow pose, the one that she's making fun of.
Oh, like
and like yeah. All right, let's see. Keep going here. If you could travel anywhere in the world, completely safe to travel, all paid expenses for 1 week, somewhere that you've never been before, where would you travel?
Australia, because that's where I wanted to go for my 30th birthday this year, but because of pandemic, I couldn't go.
I kind of changed it up for you. Well, hopefully you're able to go. That's a great choice. I would love to go to Australia too one day. Yeah, I have a couple friends that are in Australia from this comic book community as well. So really cool. Let's see. What about your? Let's talk about sports. Are you into sports at all? And if you are, who are your favorite teams, or who do you root for?
I'm not a sports person, guys. I'm not.
Okay.
I'll watch the Super Bowl, but that's about it. And I will watch the actual game and the commercials and the Super Puppy Bowl. Like that's the one game I'll actually watch with the boys.
You have to watch the Puppy Bowl. Yeah, you have
to. Yes.
Nice. Yeah, I always like to bring it up. So all right, so not a sports person. What about music? Where do you stand with music? What's your favorite genre if you have one? And who's your favorite artist and or band if there's one that comes to mind?
I have music on all the time. So I will not lie, I was listening to Taylor's version of Red yesterday and I was emotional wreck. So I made sure not to listen to it today because I didn't want to be an emotional wreck during today's interview.
during the show.
No. But yeah, so I'm not a fan of country. Not very much. That would be my no-no.
Which is interesting because you like Taylor Swift and she
she's
originated
not
as country.
anymore. She's more
Not anymore, but her old stuff. Did you ever listen to her
I
old stuff?
loved her old stuff, but even then,
It's
her
country.
country, she was also on like every genre for the award show, so she technically knew how to get me to be into her without being in the country.
Well, there's a lot of country nowadays that's basically pop. It's like pop country.
So there's also, what's that guy's name? He's also mixed like me. Oh my goodness. He did a song with Black Bear, Memories. I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, I don't know. Anybody in the chat? Maybe they'll know.
He's biracial. He has a song with Black Bear called Memories. And then I'm drawing a blank on the, oh my goodness. Hold the phone. I'm just gonna Google this.
You look it up. Michael here says he's got to dip out. We'll watch the full show on replay as usual. I'm out and about, and most convenient time for you too. Mike, appreciate you, brother, as always. This man's like shopping and he's like watching my show as he's like out in a store and stuff. So I appreciate the dedication, man.
Kane Brown, that's who it is.
Who is it?
Kane Brown.
Oh, Kane Brown. I know Kane Brown.
I'm starting to like him.
Okay, yeah. I mean, he's great.
Before, but now he's coming a little pop, and I'm like, now we're talking.
He's got a little twang though, but yeah.
Yeah.
So if you don't like country, what's your main? Is pop like your top genre there?
I like pop, rock, some EDM, not like my go-to. It just depends on the mood.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I'm obsessed with Paramore. Halsey's my favorite.
Nice. Man, Paramore. Haven't heard that name in a while.
I'll throw in some Prince. Like the other day, I showed like something that had a purple theme going on with my stuff, and then I had to listen to Purple Rain after that the rest of the day.
Classic.
So, but yeah, that's kind of been on repeat.
I like it. It's good to be kind of all over the place because I mean, like you mentioned, like it depends on the mood too. Sometimes if I'm in the mood for something, or if it's like a certain time of year, I like certain type of music. Like I love Beach Boys during the summer. Like I'm not really gonna listen to Beach Boys during the wintertime. It's just not my thing. But during the summertime, if I'm down at Wildwood, like Beach Boys is playing all day. Like
I went to Wildwood. That was fun.
Yeah. So definitely mood, depending on moods for sure.
Definitely.
All right, let's see. What about I asked you about do you have a cool concert experience? Like what's your favorite concert that you've ever been to if you've been to one?
My favorite experience was when I went to iHeartRadio. An old roommate of mine's friend, I think, worked for the company, so we got to go for free.
Oh, nice.
But it was like where we didn't have seats. So like we got to be on like the floor level. So like right there where it costs like God knows how much. But yeah, we got to like hang out and like we'd have to like run around and try to find a spot. So like whenever people were taking photos with the artists after they were done on stage, we would steal their seats. And then when they were coming back, we'd book it. Because if we got caught for not having seats, we'd have to get kicked out. But it was like so much fun. That was like the best. Because then you got like very close on stage. Like I saw like Ed Sheeran. I saw Halsey when she was dating G-Eazy at the time. And then, yeah. It was
all the big names.
Very cool. Paramore's the best.
Yeah, Mitch Sparrow knows. And also we got Sheena in the building. What's going on? HK Wifey. She also is a huge Paramore fan.
I love that.
So I liked Paramore back with the album when they had the couch on it. No, like their very first one.
The red cover, the red couch one?
Like before they were known, when they first like initially took off, because I used to listen to all those types of bands that like unknown, like, underground type of punk type stuff. And not even punk, but like, whatever you call that, I guess alternative. I don't know what you call that. But
Machine Gun Kelly, that's also there too.
What's that?
Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh yeah. He's
Bloody
good.
Valentine.
Yep. All right, cool. So I like, kind of all over the place, and the very cool concert description there. What about, do you have any cool celebrity moments? Anything that stands out to you? One or two things, like a random celebrity moments? Someone you met, someone you ran into?
I met a few. I met Nicole Richie at like one of her like jewelry events. I went to like some like cosmopolitan conference thing, and like Chelsea Handler walked by me, and like when she went to stage, and I had like a fangirl moment internally. I didn't realize I was such a fangirl for her, but I am. And then who else did I meet? That's what I could think of at the top of my head. Yeah.
All right. Albert here has a question. He says, how do you feel about Olivia Rodrigo?
Oh, I like that song. I like the songs. They're good. They're good. Good for you. Okay, that's it. I sing in the shower, not for you.
That's all. Yeah, that's all we're getting there, folks. That's all we're getting. All right. Last question here before we kind of wrap things up. And I will go with the one I always like to talk about. I know we already talked about pizza, but If you could choose your go-to meal on a Friday night, you and your boyfriend, whether it is going out to eat, ordering in, cooking yourself, whatever the combination is, what is your go-to meal for dinner?
I mean, usually on a Friday, I don't want to cook anymore. So, like, I would say sushi or like a wine and cheese night. Sushi
Ooh,
or a wine and cheese night.
wine and cheese night's good too. I haven't had one of those in a while, but that's a good one too. I'm a huge sushi fan. Steve knows, he's in the chat. I've talked with sushi with many friends who have been on this channel, so you are not the first and probably will not be the last, but a lot of lovers of sushi in the comic book community, believe it or not. So,
so good. So then we need to meet up for sushi.
Totally. Put it on the list. We'll eat sushi as we drive up to Terrificon. That'll be the plan. Probably be messy, but we'll make it work. So very cool. Good stuff there. And again, those are the questions that I had for you, Sadé. So you survived, other than the Snyder Tynan challenge question.
That was uncalled for, sir. Like, our friendship is probably up on the line right now.
It was rocky there. It was rocky. Thank you again so much for being on the show. Before I close out, I want to give you a platform here to let the people know where can they find you, and if you have any events or anything coming up that you want to share, go for it.
Yes. So you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It's all What Page Is It? As you can see on my thing there. And also keep an eye out for December. I have a lot of things happening that I'm trying to get done this month for it. So keep an eye out. Very much comic book, everything. Every Wednesdays. Yes, every Wednesdays I do a this or that, where I do a polls where you pick which cover you want, and I do torture you that way. And I also do a comic shop tours every Wednesday, seeing what's new that week. And that's my stuff.
Very nice. Nicely done. And yeah, as you said, I put all your information in the description below as well. So if you're not following Sadé, make sure you do so. And don't just follow her, but reach out, talk some comics. It's always a good time. Absolutely. And I know that's how we've built our friendship here. It's been awesome to get to know you even prior to this this interview, and continuing to see all the different fun things that you're doing. So again, I appreciate you coming on. This certainly is not going to be the last time, because we have other plans. I know we will work on some other video type stuff down the road, and maybe some skits along the way, because you're good at those. So other than that, again, Sadé, thank you so much for taking the time to be on here, be part of this. Love everything you're doing. Keep it up. Absolutely. And we'll hang out again soon. And for everybody in the chat, thank you all for hanging out. As always, I'll be back again next Saturday as usual, and I'm going to have my man TM Nerdy, aka Travis, on as my guest, so looking forward to that. Saturday, 2:00. And if you're wondering about the 4:00 show, that's today. We are going to have to reschedule that. Victoria and Haley from Shy Girl Comics, they could not make it. We had to change some things around. Haley wasn't feeling good, so Haley, if you're watching this, hope you feel better. We will definitely make sure to figure something out and talk Saga another time. But until then, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Appreciate everybody who's been hanging out. Make sure you smash that like button on the way out, and we will talk to you later.